Hello, my name is Xavier Mercado, and this is Spearhead Conversations. Today, I'm joined by special guest, Jonny Bridgewater. Coach, trainer, athlete, you name it.
Man of God.
Man of God,
Amen.
First and foremost.
Can't forget that.
I've been watching him from afar. Everything this man touches is golden. I appreciate everything he does for the community, how involved he is. He's guided some of the most prominent athletes to leave the state coming out of high school. He works alongside clubs like the Milkmen, the Milwaukee Milkmen, Milwaukee Wave. It's very impressive. His journey is motivating, and I love the fact that he has the lion mentality. But thank God, first and foremost, that we can sit here. So without further ado, how you doing?
I'm good, man. That was a good introduction. I'm ready. I feel like I want to go play some sports or something right now. Lift some weights. No, but I'm good, man. It's Friday. Sun's out. Weather's good. God woke me up. I mean, I'm blessed, bro.
Yeah, for real.
I can have $0 in the bank account. I'm like
still full of life.
I just full of life, bro. Because like I don't measure life by dollars, man. I measure life by how many lives I help. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Cliche as that sounds, like ask anybody, man. Like it's just crazy to me because like death is undefeated.
Yep.
I'm trying to leave a legacy because that's going to live forever.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I want people to be like, hey, man, remember that Coach Bridgewater? I want to be like that old head.
Yeah.
Everybody remembers when they tell their grandkids and then their grandkids tell their grandkids like, oh, there was this one coach. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
So, yeah, man, I'm good.
I just want to say I'm watching and the traction you've been gaining this past year alone.
Yeah.
It makes me proud of where I come from because you're someone from here.
Appreciate that.
You're someone that have grown up through your own trials, and you're at a level where you saw the potential within yourself. Others saw the potential within you, and you took that and you ran with it. And now what you're doing it's just impressive.
Yeah, appreciate
so let's jump into it.
Let's do it.
So where were you born?
I was born in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, by a 15-year-old mother.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So that's why I try to tell people like, don't judge a book by its cover.
For sure.
My cover is created. You know what I'm saying? By myself, like it looks beautiful, but on the inside, you know what I'm saying? Some of the pages are a little rough. Some pages might be missing, but at the end of the day, as long as you keep your cover good, no one can really judge what you're going through. Try to keep a smile. Try to stay positive because like I try to help these kids. So if they see me down, I can't, can't make sure they straight,
Yeah.
But
I think especially working with kids, everyone has their story.
Yep.
Everyone goes through what they go through. Me growing up low income.
Yep.
It was hard. We got through it. But those are the things that make you who you are.
Yep.
So how was your childhood?
It's pretty rough, bro. From families and gangs to, I won't get in too much like that, but families and gangs to family friends, living with family friends to trying to figure out who I am. I'm the oldest of 31 cousins that we know of. And I say that like for real, like not to be funny, but that we know of. So I was kind of like big brother to everybody in the hood, trying to make sure we all stayed out of trouble. But then I ended up getting in a little trouble myself and, just figured, I saw a small light, bro. As cliche as this sounds, and it got bigger because I kept going towards it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I was like, man, there's a way out. There's a way out, and I can help people like me get out. I just was lost, man. Like having a 15-year-old mother and a 15-year-old father. Yeah. I was 15. So I look at it like they couldn't raise me. But I'll tell you what, one thing I'll never say is like I had amazing grandparents. But at the end of the day, they were grandparents, and I don't mean that disrespectful. I just mean it for what it is.
For sure.
So, I still had that chip on my shoulder like, man, my mom ain't coming to nothing. My daddy don't even care. You know what I'm saying? And then it was just kind of like, as you get older, none of that mattered because they gave me life. And instead of wondering why life wasn't going a certain way, no one would sit at the poker table and get a royal flush. And if you do, God bless you, go buy a lottery ticket. You know what I'm saying? Well, but I got to trade my cards in, bro, and realize I had to create my own journey. You know what I'm saying?
What took me the longest to realize that the ball is ultimately in your court.
Yep.
You can look at the fact that you've been through a rough journey, but are you going to dwell on that journey? Or are you going to take those pieces and try to adapt to the environment you're basically growing through?
Right.
I'll tell you, man, like low income, man, My mom did the best she could.
Right.
My stepfather walked out at 13. It was a very critical age because that's when you need a man the most, bro. So the direction was there. Thankfully, I had somebody there of a male figure. I just, at the time, was more rebellious to the thought of him being that figure. Yeah, man, I believe me, I understand, bro. So what hobbies were you into growing up?
So I honestly feel like saved me was my love for sports, bro.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because like now I stay in that world, but like my whole goal was to make it to the NFL. I was a pretty good football player in high school, but my sport was baseball. I ain't gonna lie. Like I was cold at baseball, but it was during the summer. It was boring. It was, but if I stuck with it, who knows? You know what I'm saying? Because like my grandfather was like, man, you were so good at baseball, but football was like an outlet because I can crack your skull without getting in trouble. You know what I'm saying? I found like an outlet because I had like you said, like I had so much bitterness until I realized like you said, the ball's in your court, and I was like, damn, I'm in control of my reaction just as much as I'm control as my action. You know what I'm saying? So like I can choose to react just like I can choose to act. So once I learned, and trust me, I'm still learning it. I'm not gonna act like I figured it out, but because I kind of realized like, all right, bro, you in control, bro. If you get out of pocket, it's because you did. No one can make you, like they can make you mad. You know what I'm saying? But like the amount of times I risked freedom, man, is insane when people made me mad. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
And I look at it now like, man, I'm just blessed because God put me through all that bad stuff because now I appreciate the good even better. You know what I mean? So
when did your love for football begin?
Oh, snap, man. Probably like 6, 7.
6?
Playing that Burnham, bro.
Burnham? 35th?
Burnham, bro. Man.
My abuela used to live right around, my uncle moved, my abuela was from New York, so she moved down here, and my uncle bought a house right around the corner in front of the park. So it was like.
So my grandma grew up, at my grandparents' house, so 7th and Hayes. So it was right by a fire station. I don't even think it's a fire station anymore. I try not to go down there as much unless it is to give back and help kids. Like I don't like to spend time down there because I feel like until we can start cleaning up how much we don't like each other, you know what I'm saying? And don't get me wrong, I want to be a part of that, but it doesn't mean I want to spend time hanging out, you know, on someone's porch like we used to back in the day. Because, you know, not that you're fearful, but you're smarter. You know what I'm saying? Like,
bro.
Smarter. But yeah, man. So, man, youngin', man. And then a lot of friends lived on the north side too. So like my family friends that kind of adopted me was like 19th and Atkinson-ish, 20th and Atkinson. So then there was this place called the Tot Lot.
Man, dog, you starting to bring out these
all the time, bro. So like, man, we used to have fun, but Bridge, I was a good athlete, man. I was blessed, but I had no dad to play catch with. My grandfather worked a lot. He worked at Allen Bradley and at the clock tower stuff off of Greenfield, and just tried to give a good life. You know, I mean, they tried the best they can, man. So you know, as rough as it was, I can definitely still count the blessings that I had now that I didn't even realize as a kid because there was so much negativity around that, like, when you really look back now, I'm like, damn, that time, you know, this time and that time. So it's good, man.
I'm going to do this for your grandparents. You hear me? Bam.
Hey.
Get it, you know?
They deserve it.
They deserve it, man. You know, it's never, you said 15-year-old parents.
Yeah.
You know, that right there is like, man, just imagine the news being dropped. Like, boom. I remember when I found out I was having twins. I have twins that are 9 right now. But when I found the news out, bro, it was like, I was in the state I was at 25. It was like, holy. It just changed the perspective of life.
No, for sure.
So you did football, man. You're going forward. You started at 6, 7.
Yeah.
And, you know, through middle school into high school. You went to
I went to Greenfield first. Yep. And then I went to Whitnell. Because MPS didn't want me anymore in middle school. So
how was that transition?
Man, the thing called like Chapter 220, I think it was called.
Oh, for sure, the bus.
I think now they got choice. So a lot of these kids can get out the ghetto schools, man. And I hate to say it like that, but it is what it is.
It is.
And went to Greenfield and then moved into the different side of Greenfield. So then I had to go. So we moved to Greenfield, and I realized in part of Greenfield was Whitnell.
Yep.
So like when we moved, I had to open and roll back to Greenfield. I just said, forget it, man. I went to Whitnell.
Yeah.
And then I don't want to say I was a star, man, but I did all right.
Well, you know what I mean. While you were at Whitnell, you made feats. You rose in ranks. You even your senior year, you
tackles. Yeah. So it depends on what record book you look at, man. And I'm gonna say that because this dude named Rob Whiteock, he's actually the head football coach now. He was a hell of a football player, and depending on what book you look at, depending on who was keeping the stats, we're 1 and 2 either way. And either way, it don't matter because the amount of tackles we had was astronomical compared to the people before us or like within the range of us. So him and I it's within 3 either way.
For sure.
It doesn't matter. He can have it. It doesn't really matter because we were both really good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And we can both look back and like, man, we left our statement at Whitnall High School.
You left your footprint.
Yeah, man. I can't complain.
Your senior year, you got an award.
Yeah, so I was all region, all conference, defense player of the year for Woodland Conference. Yeah.
Man.
107 solo conference tackles.
What was that like for you?
Precious, man. I wish I cared more like my son. So my son, if I had his work ethic / care, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, who knows? Yeah. But at the end of the day, like, you know, when you grow up, you want to make it to pro sports, and I still did. So I have no regrets.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
well, you know, talking on the topic of your son, your senior year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Your
senior
son was
year,
born.
Man. He was.
How was that? Man, that's
a blessing.
Yeah.
But like not the right timing for the blessing. And like, especially because like I came from young parents but also because I came from young parents, you know, I had some schools that were looking at me for football and stuff. And I'll never forget a voicemail I had from a coach from Ball State. Cause you know, back in the day, I'm aging myself, a voicemail on the home phone.
Yeah.
You know, and it was really cool. But then you know, my grandfather still kind of looks at it like, man, I should have took it. But you know, not having your father there, it was just rough. And I'm like, there's no way this football game is more important than being a dad. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
no, for sure.
I was there for my kid. And, you know, after a while, I was able to play, you know, arena football a little bit, a couple teams, and some high-level outdoor with some really cool people, man.
Yeah.
It was
college, you went to Bell.
So Ball State is where I was supposed to go.
Ball State.
That's where I was supposed to go. And then I just kind of
swinged into
arena, man. I went to go watch a spring game, and then that was it. You know, it was just kind of like my son's born. I was trying to figure it out, and not having guidance from people like parents. Like, don't get me wrong, like I said, I had grandparents, but like not having like a dad that you grew up with as your dad.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like to look back and be like, what should I do? Or I just knew what to do, man. Like, I was like, I got to be a dad. I don't care if it's 4 hours away or not.
Yeah. Well, you moved.
Yep.
And then because of your, you know, the wanting to play more of the father role, you moved back.
Yep.
Where did you move?
So we lived, man, I want to say we moved back and lived like 77th and Lincoln, maybe, West Dallas. Moved back and just tried to give my kids a life. But then we moved to California, man. And that's where I was able to play football out there. Me and my brother, Josh. He's more of like a spiritual brother, but it don't matter. Blood's not always family. So the family that raised me, the Grace family, like they're a blessing. They're another huge reason for my success. Like, because then I look back, like I had a father figure in Daryl Grace and a mother figure in Sue Grace, and then 4 older brothers. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I
had a family like that.
I look back at it like, you know, and this timeline might be a little back or like, you know, within the same, but
no, for sure.
They moved to Cali, so they were like, man, come on. And then we went out there, played a little football. I got to play in the Staples Center. It was kind of cool.
Hey!
Yeah, I got good memories. I got photos of that. I had, you know, some film of that. I got to play with some really cool people that actually we keep in touch now. Like one of my guys, Dion, yeah, he was, he'll tell you from Compton, man, they retired his jersey, Fresno State.
Wow.
But now his kid, we communicate all the time now. It's crazy. His son, I don't even remember, but his son, like how maybe like 3-4 years old back in the day, but now he's just at USC as a freshman.
Yeah.
And his son's a beast. And I'm like, we talk all the time, like, man, he's so proud of me with the training, and you know, he's giving back to the kids out in LA. Yeah. So it's like, it's crazy the connections you make through this sports industry.
Well, you played arena for 3 years?
3 years, yeah. So it was called the Orange County Jaguars, man. So we would play outdoors in North American Football League. Yeah. So then we played outdoor in the spring. Arena in the spring, and then outdoor summer/fall. So it was kind of like, it's different than now because they're really, like now it's more like bar league football. You buy your helmet, you buy your shoulder pads, but that was like legit. Like it was nationwide. Like then we made the Final Four. We ended up losing. But then the Racine Raiders, you know, here, they're in the same league back then. Okay. When it was, I don't even know what it's like now. I'm assuming it's similar.
It was bigger back then.
But it was way bigger. Like I remember they used to sell out. Yeah. You know what I mean? And the amount of fans that used to come watch us. We would play in front of like 5,000 fans.
Well, the market was
different. It may not sound like a lot, but back in the day, to us, like, dang, we pack in the house. Kids want autographs, and like they looked at us like heroes, man. So it was fun to show kids that there's life other than the NFL. even though that was my end goal.
Well, they even made a movie after. Was it Any Given Sunday?
Oh yeah.
Was it that arena football?
Yeah.
I mean, no, I used to watch arena football, man, and the love you have for football.
Yeah.
So you did that for 3 years, and then you had, unfortunately, a career-ending injury.
Yeah, did have a career-ending injury, man. I had a shoulder replacement because, like, I played. Like, they used to call me a firecracker, man. I was ready to shoot aim. So, like, I just wanted to take your head off. So instead of trying to get the interception, man, I tried to take a dude's head off. My arm got caught in a pile, and it ripped out. So basically, my arm was detached.
Oh, my.
And then, so they had to do surgery. It was crazy.
How long did that recovery last?
Man.
What was going through your mind?
It's still not done. No.
Still not done.
Man, I'm in pain a lot. I have chronic pain, but I refuse to do the painkiller way, man, because, they want to give it out like candy. And I don't know how it is anymore, but, I have addictive personality, bro. So,
yeah.
I took it in the beginning.
I'm there with you.
I took it in the beginning, and then there was like refill. I'm like,
yeah,
I'm good.
Well, this must have gave you, the time to think like, well, for the first time in your life, football isn't an option anymore.
Yeah, I was lost for a while, man. I didn't. Especially because I'm competitive. So, like, I can't even, till today, I can't even throw a ball.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so it's my right arm. If we get a little further, I ended up having it done again. So I found that's when I found bodybuilding, because I was like, how can I stay competitive?
Yeah.
Which is crazy, though, even with a fake arm. Like, you can add muscle without lifting heavy. You know what I'm saying? If you know what you're doing. So fortunately for me, I knew how to do that. And I had a pretty good coach, and, I was winning. So I was like, again, I have addictive personality. So I was addicted to the grind.
Yeah.
But then not realizing like how selfish when you have kids.
Yeah.
Grind
yeah.
is. You know what I'm saying? And then here I am, like, bro, you didn't go to school and finish all that at the time because you wanted to be a dad. And now you're picking yourself over your kid.
Over your kid.
You know what I'm saying? So it's almost like I did it backwards. But it took me a minute to realize that.
Yeah.
So I had bodybuilding for like a couple years, man. But then, I don't know. I think it was God, man. I got sick. I had like a stomach issue, so I had to have surgery.
Yeah.
I just pushed way too hard because I have no gray area, bro. It's green or red.
You got, from what I've seen, man, it's nonstop, man.
Yeah.
Like, it's just amazing to me, like, you have the lion mentality.
Right, yep.
Go into that. Tell people what the lion mentality. I know you focus on that.
Like growing up, man, I was just a little terrorist. You know what I mean? So they used to call me like, man, there's a little beast. And I'm like, I'm not a beast. I don't want to be a beast. I'm a lion. You know, I literally just came up. I got lion tattoos and stuff. But it's like, you ever watch that animal, man? Like, I really studied that animal. And like, first of all, he's the king of something he don't even live in. That's gangster. Yeah. You're the king of the jungle. You live in Africa. There's no jungle. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? There's wilderness.
It's open land.
It's the pride lands and stuff. But I looked at it too. Temptation from a hyena is the only little asshole that tries to mess with a lion, right? Yep. So only the little haters, but they still can't defeat it.
Nope.
And so many people reference that animal, and it sleeps 23 hours out the day.
Oh, wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
20, maybe 21, 23.
Yeah.
And, it just has so much respect from the community it lives in. I just try to model my life,
around that.
Like, don't let these haters / hyenas take your food.
Yeah.
Don't let nobody get in your way, because a lion wouldn't. Do you know what I'm saying?
I didn't mean to cut you off, but it's funny because, like, like with algorithms, and when you watch like these shorts, video shorts, ones that come up on mine is Animal Kingdom with the lion.
Yep.
I used to go to school elementary. South Milwaukee became a foundation for me.
Yep.
And the elementary I went to, the mascot was a lion.
Yeah.
Lakeview Lions.
Okay.
So in your way, you know what I mean? It's that, from my perspective, the lion mentality is that you see something, go get it. And it's with that, there, you know what might happen, but that still doesn't cut you back from what you want,
And I tell people all the time, man, like, everybody wants to be a beast until it comes time to hunt. Because as cliche as that sounds, the amount of times I've heard people say, man, I want to be like you. I want to get what you got. You don't have what it takes. What do you mean? I was like, today you don't have what it takes. Because I'll hear something, like one of my employees, I'm not, I won't name drop or nothing, but like, man, I'm getting burnt out. I'm like, bro, you 22. you burnt out and I already work more than you this week. We're not the same.
You're not the same.
And that's okay. Because not everybody can be go, 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 go. Some people need 9 to 5 and they live a great life. You know what I'm saying? No, like, that's why I don't compare. Because like I have an unmatched work ethic in my mind. You might feel the same way. But I know what it took. I've never failed one time in my entire life. I've lost hundreds of battles, but I've never failed because I learned what I lost and I either made a correction or I just kept it moving and realized it's not for me. That's not a failure. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion, failing is giving up or looking at yourself in the mirror and be like, man, if I just would have done this, if you have any regrets, then maybe you failed that moment. But in life, I've never failed, man. Only outcomes, and you can't control outcomes.
Yeah. Well, again, football was that point in time, and then the injury. Post football, you ended up becoming a trainer.
Yep.
Through that transition, what was that like?
It was like a reset button of happiness, man, because I realized like, okay, you can't play, but you still can coach all the, it's still coaching to me. So it's like you still can coach all the kids or all the players or, and then I just latched on to really good people and listened to a lot of really good people. And, bro, I hold a record, and it was a record. So years ago, I don't know, I haven't called or checked, but I sold $29,000 in training in one day once. In one day collected.
Bro, are you serious?
In California at Gold's Gym in Fullerton. Just because like I'm passionate about everything and anything I do. Yeah. And it's also compassion. It's not just like I care about myself to get you there. Like it's almost like we become family. And then next thing you know, like my wife and I and kids, we're hanging out with other families of kids that I train. And it's like you get presents and you get this. And like the gratitude of someone reaching something and knowing that you had something to do with it, it just gives me this like sense of satisfaction in life. Like, dang, I accomplished that. And that's what I was saying earlier. Like, I am rich, but I'm not wealthy. Like, rich is like what I just said. Like, if you knew and how thankful someone is, that's better than $1 to me. To me. Yeah. I don't care what that, like, that's just my opinion. You know?
I'll tell you, growing up, always wanted to be center of attention. I just had this personality. I could be in front of crowds. Yep. But this point in life, it's like, it's not so much about me.
Right.
Especially I have 4 kids. They looking up to me with this platform. It's not about me. It's about the person that's sitting across from me. Today it's you.
Right. Appreciate that.
You know what I mean? And for me, that type of compassion and that type of gratitude to basically give your all to somebody else to see them succeed and execute these goals that they have. Some people come in with this type of mentality where they think they're all for it, and then, you know what I mean, they aren't able to follow through. But here you are, you're like, nah, get back, one more.
Yeah.
You said 10, we're not doing 10. Right. Let's do it until you can't lift that bar. Right. I always say, my cousin, Eric Zapata, a former guest on the platform as well. He does training, and the one thing I love about him is that it's like you seem like the relationships that you make with your clients. It's not just I'm giving you the playbook, I'm gonna be there. No, I care about you. I want to see you succeed. Right. So that's awesome, always to know. You know?
For sure. And that's why I feel like in this industry, it's a big D swinging competition. I said it earlier, but like. I remember, I'll never forget, Eric and I were at a barbershop on like 43rd and Forest Home, man. I forget the lady's name, but he was getting cut up. I was getting cut up. The lady owned the shop, but we went same barber. Maybe it was different barber, but they're best friends. The barbers are. We were at one of them. We're just laughing at how like this industry, and there's so many haters, but we always stay true. Like even if we weren't there, other people can say the positivity we've said about each other. You know what I'm saying? And I wish there was more people that could lift each other up like that, because at the end of the day,
you need that.
Nobody made this shit up. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? No, I've studied from some goats, some greats, and I've been fortunate enough to have many mentors. Like one of my mentors was a strength coach of the Minnesota Vikings for 20 years.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? Took me under his wing, passed me even down a book that I saw online for sale for $20,000 because it's priceless information. And not many copies of this book were created because it was almost like a society. Like, okay, if you feel like this trainer's worthy enough, let's pass on that book so they can learn a little bit. And it's all about training an athlete, because training an athlete isn't the same as literally anything else. Yeah. It's so different because it is a little bit of everything else. And you have to figure out how much % of everything else to mix in depending on what type of sport they play. You know what I'm saying? Things like that. So like, I really learned, and I feel like I have a PhD in this from everybody that I've taken snippets from. Do you know what I'm saying? And now in 10 months, I'm about to be a neurobiologist and psychologist in sports training. So yeah.
Let's get it, man. Look at
this. I say all the time, like, man, Lil Bridge a scientist, like,
yep.
You know what I mean? And it's crazy because like the stuff I've taken through and from people, it makes this degree easy.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, oh, yeah, check it. You know what I'm saying? Like, check that box.
I say, you know, through this journey, like, you know, these past year for me, you know, finally just going for what I want.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think there's any other better feeling than knowing you're passionate about something.
Yep.
And the empowerment that comes from it through the consistency you give and your all, you know.
Yeah.
So you now you're doing this physical training.
Yep.
You open up your own facility.
Yeah.
What was that, 2014?
2014, I opened my own brand.
Okay.
Yeah. So opened my own brand. No, I started my own brand. And I was fortunate enough to rent some space.
Yeah.
Because when I moved back from Cali after the Gold's Gym stuff, Experience Fitness was Gold's Gym first.
Yeah.
So it was like a transfer. So they're franchises. So the owners of my franchise, because I was breaking records, I was killing it for Angel and Willie. They're awesome. So if they ever hear this, they're a big blessing in support of my fitness journey. And then I came back to Gold's Gym here, and when it changed to Experience Fitness, I didn't vibe with the model because it was very different. I'm not saying it's bad. It was just different, not what I'm used to. So I was like, man, I can do this by myself. Yeah. I've learned so much from Angel and Willie on the business side. And then I found a little garage gym around the corner called Strive Fitness. And this dude, Brian, gave me an opportunity. So thank you, Brian, for that. To just start my business within his facility. So I paid rent, and then I outgrew that space. And then I got my own space. I was able to partner with a baseball team right on 76 in Cold Spring for a little bit. And like, honestly, man, again, grew out that space in less than a year. Like, I was having classes full of like 30-something plus kids.
Yeah.
Like, man, I can't train 30 kids by myself. Yeah. Like, and then, so I was talking to my wife, and then I found a spot on Highway 100, man, and then opened that up.
Is that the Bridgewater facility?
Performance, yeah. So that was a great blessing. And then in January of this year, you know, I was approached by Rock Ventures, which is a huge complex in Franklin. Man, we got...
Hey, man, that's...
crazy. They got...
I take my family there, bro.
It's like Top Golf. I say it like that. It's not Top Golf, but it's like Top Golf. It's their own branded Top Golf called Lux Golf Bays. Like, I thought I hated golf until I went there. That makes, like, video game golf. Like, when you actually get to hit the ball on the screen, like, that's fun. And then just the umbrella bar up there. Like, I don't drink, but, you know, just sitting outside and enjoying summer on a hill.
Yep.
Watching kids play baseball.
It's all around you.
Around you, enjoying good music. We got, man, there's a drive-in movie thing there.
Yeah.
You know, they got all these restaurants. There's, you know, it's just love. And then the coolest part of it is my gym is now in there. 77,000 square foot field house, but as a whole, I think it's over 100,000 square feet of just like blessing to me because when they first hit me, I'm like, give up my brand. What? Like, you know?
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean give up my brand? And that's not how they said it. That's how I took it.
How do you
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was so close-minded to like not realizing it was such a positive thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I was just like, oh, they just want to get rid of me because they can't compete with me.
It's the evolution.
Yeah.
Tell me how it was before because we're gonna get there, but tell me how it was when you opened the Bridgewater facility, being a owner for the first time in those years.
Yeah, so it was like, man, waking up. I don't even know, because like I never had an investor. I had more of a family handshake agreement.
Yeah.
And then myself and my wife. So it was like, dang, there was months where I'm like, man, I ain't got nobody to call. I need a little help and then, you know, but everything was cool, bro. Like, it was such a cool experience to have it all over the internet. People would come just to see the spray paint.
Yeah.
You know, I had this vision of like, I want kids to come and feel like they're playing at the park. It was dark, edgy, bold. You know, we had good music. So when you walked in, man, it was like the vibe. Yeah. You know, people would literally just, hey, how much can I pay just to play basketball? Next to I had a mural of LeBron, Kobe, Jordan.
Giannis.
You know what I'm saying? Giannis and big lion on the wall. And like, just, and then I had Anthony Pettis in the back. And it was just like, it was a vibe. It was almost like a place you wanted to go kick it too. And it was almost like a sanctuary for athletes just to come and, Oak Creek didn't have beef with Franklin. MPS didn't have beef, like Marshall didn't have beef with King. Like, no, like if you came in, everybody just felt like a part of the family.
Yeah.
We knew you by your first name. It really was a true small.
It was like a family.
Like a family business, man. Everybody just comes as part of my extended family, bro. It was a blessing. And then, I trained Tyler Hero since he was a little kid, man. He was one of my first actual clients.
Yeah.
And it just happened because, he was a really good basketball player. I want to say like 6th grade, summer before 7th grade, maybe. I don't know. So my son is really good friends with him.
I was all for him until he faced us, bro.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
No, it's
all good, man. He's a great kid, man. He's taking the kid out of Little Greenfield, Wisconsin, and giving him that. I mean, he earned it. So I shouldn't say give it to him, but like, he's adapting well. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely made his mark. Got that shot.
It's a blessing. Like, I got to spend last summer with him. He reached out to me. Hey, can you travel with me? And because I have actually like a very supportive wife, she let me be gone. I was gone for like 4 months with an NBA superstar. And when I say gone, like this man.
That's the queen, bro.
I'm telling you.
Bro.
we said that before. Like, I wouldn't be this far without her, even though she doesn't have like that entrepreneurial mindset.
Yeah.
She's more of like that employment mindset. But like having her as a support system, like, man, I'm starting to think like, man, if I had to get my kids to all these practices and you know what I'm saying, and still try to do this, or, I'm sure there's times she's tired, man, and she don't even want to do it, but she knows,
still finds
she
that
can kind of
energy,
see like, but man, being gone, man, I was in Greece. When you think of this, my wife let me be gone, even though I was working, it was still a job. However, I was in Vegas for NBA Summer League with NBA superstars.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like we just sat in a room. We got to venture out a little bit. And, I was in Miami.
Yeah.
I was living in a condo, like Biscayne. Like you hear all these rappers got a condo off of Biscayne.
Skane.
Like I was in a condo off of Biscayne.
Yeah.
Had a G-Wagon to drive. Like I felt, man, I ain't never been taken care of like that in my life to do a job. Like and it was almost like, I don't know if anybody other trainers would have gotten taken care of like that, but like
that's a blessing.
It's
man. It's a blessing.
Man, he
bro.
took me to Greece. I got to train him on a yacht. Like I got pictures, and like it's unfortunate I didn't get to train him this year. But he's working with someone really good. He's a coach from the Heat. He's one of their strength coaches. So like, and I'm not saying like, oh, I'm okay with that. Like it's up to me, right? But to know he's still in good hands and he's still working hard. And like I watch from a distance, man. Sometimes I'll be wanting to text him and bug him, but I'm like, at the end of the day, man, like. Let the kid be a kid. It's hard for me sometimes because I'm like, man, it's not my little brother. People don't get it. But no, man, I also got to learn a lot of professionalism last summer because like working with these pros, like you got to realize like, because man, I saw Jason Kidd and I'm like, I was like 10 years old when he was drafted, but that was like one of my favorites. And then I saw Gary Payton and I'm around all these dudes and like, I'm like, wanted to be a fan.
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Instead of like,
can't go spaz out,
right.
Be like, dude, I was like,
yeah, because like all the pros I've had before that, or like a lot of like we created a relationship first.
Yeah,
but they came to me, so like I got to go with him. You know what I'm saying? So when I'm getting to see all these people, thank God someone had a professionalism talk with me though, because like I don't realize in my passion and I'm excited, and the more I realize too, like, hey, just calm down and have a conversation. Yeah. It's crazy how many people were able to like, oh, it's just Bridge, like, talk with, so it was super cool.
It's cool when you build that rapport and that type of respect. And then, it ultimately, it goes with the journey, man.
No, for sure, yep.
Ever since, with me, I took a chance on myself. It's been work. You know what I mean? It's been work, but at the same time, things have fallen into place. And I feel like that's God-given. Yep. That's how you're on your path.
Yep.
So you basically own the Bridgewater facility. Yep. Through this, you've opened many doors.
Yep.
Now working with Tyler Hero. Yep. You also are a coach for the Milwaukee Milkmen.
Yep.
And the Milwaukee
Wave. Yep.
Yeah. So what are these experiences like to you, working with basically community sports teams that are organizations for the family?
So yeah, I hated baseball. I'm not gonna lie. Like I was so good at baseball. Yeah. So and that's just the truth. Like, some people look at it as bragging. Like, I don't know how else to tell you. If you looked at my numbers, no one would say, wow, those suck. You know what I'm saying? So I was good at baseball. Man, my grandfather, I don't want to say pushed me too hard in baseball, but he saw my potential, but he also knew I was kind of a knucklehead. So he wanted to make sure like, hey, if you're going to do this, like, let's lock in. And I was a hell of a catcher, and I'm sure he worked overtime to help pay for some of the stuff. And sometimes I had to ride with other families during all-star games and stuff like that. But, you know, I hated baseball because I made myself hate baseball. You know what I mean? I had a bad attitude, and, you know, and then my shoulder, I can't even throw a ball, you know, because my arm. So it's like being around these dudes and like being able to work with them on the level and see it be put into play. Yeah. Because I tell people this all the time, like all athletes move the same. So I don't train exercises, I train movements, because there's plenty of exercises for certain movements depending on what sport you play. Yeah. So I made a lot of these baseball players love the weight room because it's not about strength, it's about power. You know what I'm saying? So everybody wants muscles. Don't really care about muscles if you can't perform. You know what I mean? It's just a look. So what I try to tell people is if you don't have power to your amps, or sorry, if you don't have power to your voltage and the power being amps, it don't matter. You can go run a Tough Mudder right now. They'll shock you with 10,000 volts. And people are like, how they do that? Because there's no amps. Yeah. You put an amp to 10,000 volts, bye. You getting picked up on a satellite. You might be, hey, there's an unidentified flying object. You're going to be in the UFOs with the news. But like, I always try to create power because if you can receive, you can give. Yep. You know what I'm saying? But if you give, that doesn't mean you can receive. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like, I try to explain training like a baseball and a racquetball and a brick wall. So if I have a baseball and I'm going to whip it against a brick wall, it's going to hit that wall hard and it's going to fall down and roll back. You don't want to be that. You want to take this racquetball or like a lacrosse ball. Man, if you whip that against a brick wall, it's flying past your head because it absorbs the wall first.
The energy and then
it comes back. Yep. So even Braylon Allen is one of my clients, big number 0 from the Badgers. You know, he lived with us for a little bit. And, you know, if it wasn't for COVID, you guys would be watching a docuseries right now that they started doing on us. And COVID kind of messed it up, you know, social distancing, masks and all that stuff, whatever. It is what it is. I ain't here for that. But if I taught him how to receive contact, because now he can give so much better because it don't affect him. You know what I mean? So like people don't understand the power of the central nervous system, and that's where all power comes from, man. No one cares about anything else if you can't perform. You know?
How did these doors open for you? How did they approach you to be a part of these teams?
Yeah, so like when they approached me about my brand, rewinding a little bit, it was like, and we want you, you know, to run the gym, and not only just run the gym, we want you to be the head strength coach of the Milkman and the head strength coach of the Wave, because Rock Ventures, the company that I'm partners with, own the Wave and the Milkman. So it only made sense since the gym is right there, and inside the gym there was batting cages for them anyway. So they had the good stuff built first. They would come in there anyway and work out, and so why not? You know what I mean? And it just being able to put the uniform on and stuff. I don't do it all the time, man, but when I'm there, why not?
Yeah, why not, dude?
They love my energy in the dugout. You know, I mind my business. If you know, sometimes baseball's tough. Yeah. And one thing people don't know is like baseball is one of them sports, man, where it's like
it's psychological
because you lose way more than you win. Yeah. You 25% batting average, you know, 250 to 300. That's good. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, bro, I'd be mad. If I came up to bat, I was like, there's a 20% chance I'm gonna get on base. You know what I mean? But it's like, it's a mental, especially for the Milkmen, because the level of baseball it's high, but it's independent minor league. So the difference is, and I've learned this year, is it's not affiliated with the major league team. It's associated with Major League Baseball. So any team can pick these guys up. So basically it's a league of teams full of free agents. So some of the dudes been in the like major league rosters, like not minor league, AAA, like major league, like Miguel Gomez, like he was actually on the major league team. And you know, one of my guys, and I say guys now because we became friends, but Cam, he's a catcher. He was on the Cubs AAA team. Yeah. You know, and it's a little rehab stuff. Or like one of my boys too was drafted by the Marlins. You know, so it's kind of like they ain't no, you know, people don't understand sometimes too, like, oh, it's just the Milkmen. No, bro. The Milkmen are good. Like it's a good league. It's, you know, these are great dudes, are great coaches. Like it's just being a part of that locker room shit again, bro. It's actually kind of like, it brings back memories, brings back happiness. And then my kids get to see me on the field. Like, that's my dad. Like,
I love the family, the type of, you know what I mean? It's really recognized for the family type of environment it is. And I took my whole family to it.
No, for sure.
You know what I mean? Like that's why, like, one of the biggest things that stand out for me is the work you do
for sure
with the Milwaukee Milkmen. That's how I like just seeing it. it's such a positive impact on the community. Sure. I mean, I'm not familiar with the owner, but to create something of that size and to keep on creating, knowing the impact it's going to have on the community, all more too, man. And I can't, it's amazing.
Yeah, an easy sell for me, to be honest, to go there was also learning what ROC stands for. So it's ROC, not ROCK. So it's return on community. That was huge to me. And his whole vision was, how do we create something special for the city he grew up? So I'm pretty sure he grew up in Franklin, so I could be misspeaking, but I know he went to Pius. Him and his brothers went to Pius. But like, how do I give to this community? He's always a baseball guy. And like, there's not many people in life like I actually have that respect for. And like, that is a gentleman that, like, when he's in a room, I'm standing up and shaking his hand. Like, he'll get like, it's good, bro. Like,
there you go.
You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, like, he's also taking me under his wing. Like, I've read books. Like you said, Eric gave you books. Man, I don't read books.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And you know, the constructive criticism he's given me since I've been there, let's call it April-ish to now, I feel like I've grown so much just from having someone like that face to face. And he's I'm not saying I'm not busy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But he's busy, not in the light. Like, a lot of people see me all over the place. He's kind of behind the scenes. But for him to take the time on a Saturday night, for example, and be like, hey, come here, bro. And like, sit me down, 30 minutes, locked, engaged. Man, I'm not looking at nothing. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'm so locked in. And then he texts me some books. And, you know, it's just kind of like, man, this journey was here. You know what I'm saying? Like, he always said, he's like, you just need the right platform.
What's
he was
his
like,
name?
Mike Zimmerman.
Mike Zimmerman.
Yeah. So, and then his brother's family worked there. So like, my right-hand man, actually I'm his right-hand man, but you know,
we'll say
it like that. No, but like, and then Joe, we call him Jay-Z, but it's Joe Zimmerman. We got the same vibe, man. And he's kind of in charge of like the Hills Has Eyes. So we also have that haunted house, like Hills Have Eyes.
Yep.
And I'm just like, bro, I'm a part of, like, I won the lottery. And then what's cool though, is like, Mike Zimmerman was like, no, bro, you earned it. You earned the lottery. Stop saying you didn't win none of this.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? How many times you fall on your face, but you just kept getting back up. Yeah. I tell people all the time, like, you know how many mountains I climbed to realize there ain't shit at the top?
Yep.
Damn, I got to go back down. But there's one right there. What if it's at the top of that one? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's almost like he watched me from a distance too, kind of like I watched them from a distance, like, dang, look at that beautiful facility they're building right around the corner.
Yeah.
You know, and then, you know, a year and a half later, they asked me to come be the face of it. And so like, official title, we'll say principal director. It's kind of like what it is, you know, but I don't care about a title, man.
Well, you know the way I see it is, you know, you look up to this guy, but so many people look up to you. Yeah. And now your name is becoming a household name, right? Especially within the community of Franklin.
Sure. Yep.
Why is it so passionate for you in the way you are with the kids that you train and teach?
So it's kind of crazy. So like, I think it's because two reasons. One, we'll start with, I don't think I ever really got to be a teenager.
Yeah.
So like, even though I'm an adult, like by age, it's so cool, like being able to interact with the boys, quote unquote, but then still have the respect of, that's our coach. So I'm like a player's coach. So we joke around to an extent, you know what I'm saying? But we're locked in and we're engaged. And like, I'll come home, my wife's like, can we just adult for a minute? I'm like, no, I just got done training like, you know, 10 high school boys, and they crack jokes in between set, you know, or the college kids are crazy, the stuff they do. But I'm like, listen, man, y'all better go get your brain checked out. No, I'm just kidding. But you know, it's just, I get to be that kid I feel like I always wanted to be if I had the same type of guidance. Yeah. Or then on the flip side, there's also the kids who I wish I had a me that I'm that for. You know, and I think I told you, like, I don't know if it was recorded or not, but like, I'm not here to motivate you. I can't motivate you, because if I motivated everybody every day, I would have nothing left. But I'm here to encourage you. There's a huge difference, because I'm going to encourage you to keep going or knock it the fuck off. Excuse my French. No, you know what I'm saying? But like, that's what I'm here for. I'm not here to, come on, buddy, rah. No, like, no, I'm in your face if you need it, or we're working out, and then in between we're laughing, and then we're back to work. You know what I'm saying? Because then these kids are like, man, I don't even realize it. I got a testimony a couple months ago. and I have an online platform, kind of like Eric does too.
Yeah.
For athletes. And the kid was on it, 5'7" freshman, sent me a video jumping and hanging on the rim and could barely touch the middle of the net.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, man, it works. You know what I mean? If you follow it and you're disciplined, it works. So like, I just wanted so basically reliving the childhood, man, as through them vicariously. Like tonight, I'm going to watch Franklin versus Catholic Memorial because those are my little guys instead of going to the Lil Baby concert.
Yeah.
Some people might think I'm crazy.
Yeah.
But guess what? I've had some of these kids and they're seniors now, and this is their first game.
And you've watched the growth.
And I've watched the growth.
Yeah.
I listen to Lil Baby in the car.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite rappers.
But that's your passion.
But my passion is what I've done for these kids.
Yeah.
My passion isn't going to see him rap when I can go see him rap again. I can't come see the first game of their senior year ever again.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
So I beat myself up about that. You know what I'm saying? I was going to go to Drake a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
They moved the date. I had a daddy-daughter date on that Friday.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Drake doesn't come before my daughter.
Of
maybe
course not.
maybe before.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But like I told my wife too, going back real quick, like last summer, I don't even know if God like or Tyler was supposed to pick me. I think God put that on Tyler's heart to pick me, to take me away, to learn about myself. And I got to spend so much time alone, and I've never really been alone willingly. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I really found myself in a way that, and not that I wasn't on the right track or on the right path, I was just in the slow lane, you know, because like, you know, there's an exit, you might get off, go see the beautiful stuff and get back on and drive in the slow lane so you can get off. No, now I'm in the fast lane.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying like I'm skipping steps. I'm just saying it's a horse race, man. I got my blinders on and I'm grinding. And
Yeah.
it's just going to keep getting better.
Well, that's, you know, and this is a type of inspiring. This is inspiring, bro.
Yeah,
like, I'm
appreciate it.
inspired by you. Like, I love your journey. I love following you on social media because it's so positive and it's moving forward
Yeah.
at all times. It's this consistency. It's this growth. People like me are growing with you. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? You keep people involved, and
Yeah.
and the impact on the community, it shows.
Oh yeah.
You know,
I
you got
appreciate that. Yeah.
these athletes going off and actually having something that they at one point they didn't think they had
Yeah.
within them. Those are the type of things when you make that type of footnote within people, they carry that.
Yeah.
And it lives with them for the rest of their life. The routine,
Yep.
the structure,
Yep.
just wanting to be more within yourself.
Yep.
You know, being selfless.
Yep.
Where do you see this going in the next 5? Because I mean, like this year alone, man.
Yeah. It's
boy.
yeah. Like these past 2 years, it's almost been like a hallucination, bro. Cause like you dream for stuff as a kid like this, and like just being in Miami, I got to meet so many cool people.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not gonna sit here and say we're homies or we're friends or nothing like that. As much as I would want to.
Yeah.
You know, but man, I got to sit in David Beckham's suite in the front row of the soccer game, Miami International, and learn the game of soccer from you know, some of his friends or some of the people he knew in the suite with us, and got to go with Hero and stuff. And it's like I got to live life as a little kid from teenage parents that other kids from teenage parents can live if you just believe there's a other side of the fence or other side of the wall. Like you ain't trapped on this side. You might have to climb and get knocked down 100 times before you get over, man. But like if you just keep grinding and stay true to you, you know, same thing. I've lost plenty, or did I? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Friends, like, no, maybe it was just time to like part ways. And it's not that I'm better than anybody. It's just that if you're not on the same path or same journey, like we ain't got nothing in common. Like you still live at home and you 40.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm better than you, but choosing to.
Choices.
Not like you went through something and your parents let you move back in to get back on your feet. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the cats that I know that's never left the nest. You know? No, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good. I love you. I pray for you. And if I see you, I'm not going to ignore you. But I'm not going to go out of my way to come and ask you to come hang out with me, because then you're going to ask me to pay for you.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm not trying to be a jerk. But like, that's not what I grind for. I grind for my family. You know what I'm saying? And I grind for many other.
Even my journey, man.
Yeah.
You know, in this past year, well, it's going almost 2 years of sobriety, but since I began this journey, you know, the leaves fall off the branches.
Yep.
You know, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
You know, I thought we were always close tight, but as
Yeah.
soon as the partying stopped, then
Oh, you different.
you different.
Or you switching up.
Or you switching
Yeah,
up,
it's
or you
crazy.
think you're better than us.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many people have said that to me. And every time my response is, yeah. I used to look at my cousin Eric
Yeah.
in such a way, in the way he conducted himself,
Yep.
like, oh, you do think you're better than us when he began this
Yeah.
journey. And you know, the more you grow and the more you see, you understand.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's the type of mentality you have to have. You have to
Right.
see forward. Where I say the biggest blessing outside of sobriety was moving and getting away from people. And you know, for those that say that, you know, I've moved on, or I think I'm whatever, keep thinking your
Yeah.
thing. I'm just focused on what I'm doing right now, and there's nothing wrong with that. And it's allowed me to meet some remarkable people
Oh,
such
for
as
sure. I
yourself,
appreciate
man.
that. Likewise, man.
So, what advice would you give to our youth, inner city, suburban, that? And I'm gonna put it like this because you know you talk about your upbringing
Yeah.
and wanting someone there. For those that you feel are in the position that you were growing up, what would be your advice to them?
Honestly, man, seek God.
Yeah,
That's my first advice, because you can have God in your corner
yeah,
and you can keep him in your corner. He doesn't leave your corner. When certain people are around, you don't act like you like him as much. You don't love him. Trust me, I've been there. But the person who's always, quote unquote, been my dog, and like, God's never turned his back, like literally. Like, and people also forget evil's real, right? So like, God don't make bad stuff happen. Now, he allows stuff to happen, but it's our choice.
yeah,
You know what I mean? So like, seek God no matter how you grew up, because only, in my opinion, only the devil causes confusion, man. So I look at it as like, seek God, and like, he'll lead you in the path of where you're supposed to be at, and stuff like that. So seek the kingdom of God, man. And I'm not trying to disrespect other religions and stuff like that, but I know what worked for me. And having God in my corner also, though, back then, you know, I knew it.
Yeah.
You know, my grandparents tried to put it on my heart and all that stuff. And then, you know, and once I started like living, and I'm not perfect, bro, so there'll be someone on here, yeah, right, there was this one time you said this.
Yeah.
Listen, bro, we're all sinners, bro, but like, seek God. And then second, love yourself.
Yeah.
If you can't love yourself, you can't love anything or anybody else, because you always second guessing stuff. You always overthinking stuff. It's once I realized, like, and I'm not talking about like love yourself in a narcissistic way. I'm talking about like love the person God made you. You know what I'm saying? So many people want to try to change and this and that. And like, are you changing for the right reasons? You know what I mean? So like, be you. I've always been me. And that's what just kept me going, like good, bad, or indifferent.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I got a lot of bad habits and stuff that still am me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, like, because I'm me and I'm authentic and all that stuff, it just took me here. And like, God's taking stuff away from me. Some people look at like the story of Job, man. He's faithful to God, took his wife, took his kids, took everything, but they start getting stuff back. You know, it's crazy. It's like, man, I'm starting to get stuff back. You know what I mean? I'm starting to get people back in my life that were out of my life, and, you know, people who were in my life that shouldn't have been, they starting to hit it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like a transition period, man. But I'll tell you what, man, God's been good to me. So that's the best advice, man. And if you have that, you definitely will have enough gas in your tank to drive to wherever you need to be. And when you get there and that's not the destination, I promise you there'll be a gas station there to fill up and go to the next one. You know what I'm saying?
Go, man.
So,
man, I'll say this. I've said it throughout the interview. I appreciate you.
no,
You
for
know what
sure.
I mean? Taking the time out. I know you're a busy man. It takes a village.
Yo, yeah.
You know what I mean? So when I have people like you come through and tell your story and just an insight of what determination, dedication, consistency is,
Yeah.
what we're able to do,
Yeah.
especially for the youth growing right now.
Yeah, because if I would have stopped for how many people told me training isn't a job, it's not, no, they're right, it's a career. If you treat it like a career. If you treat it like a job, it's a job. If you treat it like a hobby, it's a hobby.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, though? You treat anything like what it is, I promise you, as much as I love God, I do believe in energy.
Oh, yeah,
You know what
definitely.
I'm saying? The Zen, whatever they call it. Listen,
Vibrations,
yes.
energy, frequencies. Believe me, I've more this year, more than anything, I've come onto it. And because I've been studying it,
Yeah.
bro, my life is different,
For real.
man.
One of the best books that I've ever read in my entire life, and I just read it, right? and when I say book, there's probably like 8 total books I've read in my life. But this book, and then even when Zimmerman's like, I got this book, I'm like, man, fuck a book. You know, like a book. And you know what's crazy though is like, as much as I like audio stuff, because like my ADD and all that stuff, like part of it I actually read, like I'll listen to it in the car instead of music, you know. So it's like, it's called The One Thing. And it makes you realize the one thing you're good at. And instead of trying to master a bunch of different things, how about you find out actually what you're good at, master that, and then add to your book or add to your bag. You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of times as humans, we try to multitask. And the book talks about how like multitasking is meant for computers, because at the end of the day, our brain capacity can't, and I'm learning this in school actually too, it's kind of crazy how it goes hand in hand, but like your brain can't multitask with 100% efficiency to 5 different things at the same time. Yeah. It's going to give 20%. And because you know you're giving 100% effort to it, you don't realize that it's divided into 5. So 20, 20, 20, 20, 20. So even though it looks good, because you did it, right? And people aren't going to tell you it's bad because it's probably not bad. But imagine how much better it could have been if you slowed down just a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And gave 100. So instead of multitasking, check off your task list. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it just teaches you that. And like the one thing you're good at, you know, it teaches you kind of how to use it for that purpose and pivoting. And if you had, you know, if you had a like reverse pivot to kick out for a 3, for example, like it'll teach you how to reverse pivot in the same manner. You know, I'm not trying to spoil the book because everybody can receive it differently. Yeah. You know, and then the biggest advice I got from that book from him was, you know, if something really resonates, don't keep reading. Stop. Just reflect, man. Reflect. Just stop at that moment. Pick it up tomorrow, because take some time to retain it. I've never heard that before. Because like you want to retain, man, and you don't just want to know. You know what I mean? Because like knowledge without execution to me is disrespectful. Because you have all this time putting in to learn stuff. And you can even retain it, but none of it matters. Yeah. None of it matters, honestly, if you don't execute it. You know what I'm saying? I don't care. Sure. You can come in with a master's degree and know where every muscle is on my body. But if you can't teach me how to use it effectively and efficiently for what I'm doing in life, nothing matters. Yep. All you are is a textbook. You know what I'm saying? Yep. So, yeah, man.
Man, I appreciate you coming.
Oh, yeah, I appreciate you having me.
So, with that being said, Spearhead out.